"So I hear you have a special gift." The man had met Mr. Sereph in the park, and the son didn't agree with the old devil. He had no qualms about the daylight. It did not burn him or discomfort him. It was just that his kind had always done their business in the dark, and he was a creature of habit. This place, with the sounds of happy people and the noise of children and old folks, was too saccharine for him. "I do," said the man, as he pushed his fingers together again and again in a vaguely mystic formation. Man hell, this was more boy than man. The kid couldn't be more than 17, and Mr. Sereph did not, as a habit, make deals with children. He didn't have anything against it. It's just that they could be slippery if they needed to be, and the law often protected them from deals, predatory or otherwise. So above, so below wasn't just a catchy slogan, and it made dealing with children a little prickly sometimes. "How old are you, boy?" Mr. Sereph asked. 25, the kid answered. It was too quick. A lie. "Try again and tell the truth, or I'll be on my way." The kid breathed in a deep sigh. 18, I swear, which probably meant 16 or 17 in reality. "Very well. And why would you want to sell your talent when it's likely just burgeoning?" As if in answer, the kid took out a knife, and before Mr. Sereph could stop him, he had cut himself a good one along the meat of his arm. It bled, dribbling a little as he set the knife aside and touched it with the hand that had been holding the knife. There was a flash of light, a smell of ozone, and when Mr. Sereph could see again, he saw that the wound was healed. There was no scar, no blemish, and it was like it had never happened. "Well, now, that is something." "Sure, I guess," the boy said. "It helped me a lot, but it's ultimately useless." Mr. Sereph raised an eyebrow, smelling a double cross. "And why is that?" "It can't cure the one person I want to cure. She says that if God wants her to be healed, then she will be healed. If she doesn't get the operation she needs to heal what I can't, then she'll die. If she dies, then I see no reason to live." Mr. Sereph had to stop himself from rolling his eyes. Youths, like this one, made a great deal about love. Who was to say that this girl wouldn't just leave him in a day, a year, 10 years even? She might die anyway. She might wake up with no memories of him. Who knew what lay in the future, but his gift could be worth millions. "I have to ask," Mr. Sereph said, "why would you trade this gift for her?" The boy shrugged. "Because she is my gift. She's the love of my life, and I love her more than life itself. If she wasn't here, the gift would die anyway. There's no life for me without her. I suppose that is as good a reason as any. I can offer..." But the boy held out a piece of paper. Mr. Sereph furrowed his brow as he took it, opening it to see that the boy had an offer of his own. "That's how much I need. I don't need anything else. I may not be able to heal her with my powers, but I'll heal her." Mr. Sereph chuckled a little. "This is acceptable. Come with me. It sounds as if you don't have a lot of time." The boy followed, and whether he was damned for it or not was up to interpretation. "Sounds like the kid really had it planned out," Lucifer said, as Mr. Sereph sat down, looking at the little book that held the talent. It had taken the form of something simple, like an old Bible or a journal, and it sat on the corner of the desk like a hunkered beast. Mr. Sereph always felt a little strange when he found a talent like this one. He had taken many talents in his time on Earth, but it was always those that were close to the divine that made him feel uncomfortable. If there was a God, and Mr. Sereph knew there was, then how could he allow a creature like him to own this? Indeed, Mr. Sereph said, stroking the cover absent-mindedly. Who do you sell something like that to anyway? Lucifer asked. A doctor or something? Mr. Sereph laughed. A doctor? You have me sell an honest-to-God miracle to a doctor? My dear boy, A, most of them couldn't afford what we offer, and B, they wouldn't believe it if it was offered. Well, who then? Lucifer asked, smiling as he leaned forward in expectation of a show. Mr. Sereph reached for his Rolodex, spinning through the cards as he tried to find just the right section. The only group on the planet with the right combination of belief and cash. He grinned as he found what he was looking for and took 3 cards out to lay them next to the phone. Lucifer often spoke about the ease of using his cell phone for such things, but Mr. Sereph liked to keep things analog. Lucifer moved up behind him, and when he saw the contact cards, he couldn't help but laugh. You can't be serious, he said. Where else would you sell a healing power? Who else would believe and want such a thing but a pastor of a large flock with deep pockets? Mr. Sereph tried to look at ease as he sat in the ostentatious office of Pastor Mark Gideon. He was never sure why he felt so uncomfortable walking into these places. This man, in a pressed suit and a $500 haircut, was more interested in money than glory at this point, and Mr. Sereph had less to fear from him than most of the fire and brimstone preachers. It took conviction to send his kind back to the pit, not a jet and a summer home in Brazil. Besides, Mr. Sereph reflected, he had been invited in. Mr. Sereph, Mark said, the name coming out like Mista in his thick southern accent. It is so good to see you again. I had hoped you would find another dose of oration for my upcoming jubilee. The man practically oozed 1%. His skin had that healthy glow you often saw from sun collected from a different hemisphere. His hair was thin, but it had been teased into a gray perm that threatened to show the skull beneath. He favored gray suits, a different American flag pin for each, and his small, soft hands had a ring for each finger. The crucifix he wore was the least audacious thing about him, and that should have told most people all they needed to know. Oh no, Pastor Gideon, I have something much more impressive. I have brought you a true miracle. The man's eyes glittered as he pulled the leather-bound book from his coat. You always bring me such gifts. This one is no exception, Mr. Sereph said. This is the kind of power that you've only read about, the kind that could forge a dynasty for a man such as yourself. This isn't just faith healing, it's actual healing. Mark's eyes grew wide. Truly, it's the real McCoy. He reached for the book with trembling fingers, and he looked crestfallen when Mr. Sereph slid it out of his reach. The real Old Testament magic. But the price tag is not cheap. Mark Gideon wet his lips and reached into his coat for his wallet. Whatever it costs, I will pay it. Name your price, sir. Keep in mind, Mr. Sereph said, this will not last forever. Even miracles have their limits. "Quit your stalling and give me a price," Gideon snapped, as he dabbed his brow with a napkin. Mr. Sereph smiled and wrote it on a paper before passing it to the powdered little shyster. Pastor Gideon looked at it, sighed, and nodded as he took out his checkbook. "By the way," Mr. Sereph added, "if you're looking for a test case, I have a suggestion." He slid another piece of paper across the desk, and Mark Gideon opened it as he finished writing the check. "And if it doesn't work, then you can be sure that this check will be canceled." Mr. Sereph smiled. "Trust me, my friend. It'll work better than your wildest dreams." It was a very lucrative day for Libris talent. In local news, a girl was cured miraculously of her stage 3 cancer. Emily Gray and her parents, accompanied by her boyfriend, who was attempting to pay for an experimental surgery to save her life, were seen with megachurch pastor Mark Gideon as he talked to Channel 7 about how this all came to be. The press conference had sprawled across the front lawn of Sisters of Mercy Hospital as Mark Gideon and the happy family smiled for photos. The boy looked more like the young man he should have been, and less like the haggard corpse that Mr. Sereph had met with. Letting him keep the money and have his beloved was an added bonus. The kid had been genuine, and Mr. Sereph found that more than a little endearing. "I was sitting at my desk at Salvation Ministries a few nights ago, studying the Word and preparing for my sermon, when the Lord spoke to me and said, 'Mark, I need you for a special job. This girl has a purpose. Her work here is not yet done, and I need you to be my messenger. Go to her and heal her and make her whole again.' When the Lord gives you a message like that, you follow it. He has blessed me with the gift of healing, and I mean to be about his work." The newscaster came back then, the last image, one of the girl talking excitedly to the boy on her left. It was a better image to end on than the powdered and prissy face of Mark Gideon. Pastor Gideon went back into the hospital and cured 7 more patients on the cancer floor, as well as several others in the ER. It's hard to argue with the facts, and it appears that we have an honest-to-God miracle amongst us. Mr. Sereph shook his head, picking up his phone and calling Gideon. The pastor picked up on the 3rd ring. "There he is, God's answer to my prayers. What can I do for you, Mr. Sereph?" "I just wanted to thank you for healing the girl. She's a friend of a friend. I trust you're making good use of the talent." "I am, sir, I am. I have arrangements to perform live miracles tonight on stage at my nightly sermon. We would love to have you in attendance, if you will come." "Afraid I have pressing matters." "Do be cautious, though, Gideon. That talent won't last forever." Pastor Gideon laughed. "One does not squander the good works of God, my friend," and hung up. Mr. Sereph shook his head. He had never doubted that Gideon would squander it, but it would really come down to the quickness of that squandering in the end. And Salvation Ministry was on the scene at the site of the crisis as Pastor Mark Gideon prayed over and laid hands on the wounded. Emergency staff were said to have reported that the wounded were miraculously healed of their wounds. This is not the first time we have seen Pastor Gideon come to a place of peril and help them through prayers and miracles. "I can't believe you sold a genuine miracle to that man," Lucifer said, shaking his head as he watched the newscast. It had been about 3 months since the sale, and the Salvation Ministries had been making use of it in the media. Pastor Mark Gideon had been seen at children's hospitals, at the site of disasters, and on the stage of his own megachurch performing miracles. He was seen healing the sick, helping the wounded, and curing the seemingly incurable. Numbers at the church had been on the rise, and Mr. Sereph couldn't blame Pastor Gideon for burying his talent, it seemed. I can't think of anyone else to sell it to, honestly. He could put it to the most use, and the fall afterward will be just as spectacular. What do you mean? Lucifer asked, but as if on cue, the phone suddenly rang, and Mr. Sereph picked it up, smiling as the expected voice came from the headset. Libris, but the voice cut him off. Sereph, it's Mark Gideon. Good afternoon, he said, trying for something conversational and simply sounding sweaty and nervous. I was hoping we could discuss buying a bit more of that special stuff you have there. Mr. Sereph winked at Lucifer as he kicked his feet up on the desk. Oh, I'm sure I could find some oratory talent for you if you need... No, Gideon said, trying to keep the anger out of his voice. I mean, the other thing. I need more of the, Mr. Sereph heard him close a door and lower his voice. I need more of the miracle talent you sold me. Oh? Mr. Sereph asked. It's only been a few months. Have you run dry already? There was silence for a moment, the sound of heavy breathing, the only backdrop. There has been much suffering as of late, as you must know. I have been going where I'm needed and helping the sick and the poor and making money hand over fist, I'm sure, Mr. Sereph said. More silence. The breather attempting to swallow what must be enough anger to choke a horse. I just need to purchase more, Mr. Sereph. I have no need of your jokes. Sell me more, and I will be on my way. That's unfortunate. I did warn you, Mr. Sereph crooned. I warned you that this power was rare. I have never offered it to you before because this was the first time I have ever had any of it. That was all there was. There was no more. I cautioned you to use it sparingly, to be frugal, but you apparently did not listen. What? He breathed it out, and Mr. Sereph could hear him wetting his lips on the other side of the phone. What do you mean there isn't any more? I'm supposed to heal someone tomorrow. Someone very important. But it stopped working last night when I visited the children's hospital. I only got through a few kids before the miracle light ceased. I thought I might just be tired, but when I couldn't even heal a hangnail on my hand this morning. Mr. Sereph laughed. He couldn't help it. Please tell me that you were not using a gift from God for something so trivial. I just wanted to know if it would work, he said, static bleeding over the phone as he squeezed it. And now you're telling me that it's gone. Mr. Gideon, how often do you have to purchase speaking talent from me? The angry pastor contemplated this for a breath or two. Every few years, maybe every 16 months. Oration is considered a common talent, and it's still quite rare. What I sold you is a once-in-a-lifetime talent. We may never see its like again, and you used it up in less than 6 months. How foolish. But I suppose it was yours to use as you see fit. You can't do this to me. This will ruin me. How dare you? Who do you think you... I would suggest, Mr. Sereph said icily, you not pile on the foolishness today, Mark Gideon. If you wish to see another drop of silver tongue from me, you will hang up now, and I will forget that you spoke to me in such a way. Mr. Sereph's voice had been icy, his good humor suddenly turning frigid. He was aware that this man was embarrassed after all, but he had let that embarrassment push him down an unadvisable path. Now, Gideon must correct this before he brought further ruin on himself by making an enemy of Mr. Sereph and pushing his decline further into ruin. I will never call upon you again. You are the devil for certain. Mark Gideon hung up, and he had been telling the truth, though he couldn't have known it. He would never call Richard T. Sereph again, though not for the reasons that he probably thought. Oof, tough break, boss. That's a lot of money off the table. Is it? Mr. Sereph said, hanging up the phone before dialing again. I wonder. Lucifer heard the phone buzz 3 times before someone with a deep, resonant voice answered. Mr. Brand, it's Richard T. Sereph. I should think that by the end of the week, Pastor Mark Gideon should be in no position to threaten your growing ministry. His flock will likely be looking for a new church home by the middle of the year. And when that happens, I will expect you to make good on your deal. There was some low talk, the two of them talking about the particulars, and when he hung up, Mr. Sereph was smiling all the wider. Lucifer shook his head. You sly dog. You were banking on him being a greedy little piggy, weren't you? Mr. Sereph spread his arms. Of course. The one safe bet, my dear Mr. Jones, is that there is always someone betting on your demise, and they're willing to pay big bucks for the date and time of your downfall. You're still here. Thanks for stopping by. Dr. Plague here. Always a pleasure to see all my new and old viewers coming by for another one of my spooky tales. If you'd like to support the show, you can always take part in one of our channel offers through Fume or Aura, or you can just click on another video when they come up. I'd really appreciate it. For our newer viewers, we also have lots of playlists and other things if you'd like to get caught up. I know some of my series have been going on for quite a while. If you'd like to get my latest book, there's a link down below that'll take you to my Amazon page. Towesey Homestead just came out, so if that's something you'd like to get your hands on, go ahead and have a look down there. If you'd like a signed copy, you can go ahead and email me from my email address on the site, and I'll get with you about shipping information and ship you a signed copy. If you'd like to support the channel in a more monetary fashion, we also have membership through YouTube, and we've got a Patreon that you can get the information for in the description. We have lots of tiers and everything to suit your needs. Patrons that support on the $10 tier, that's our Ghostly Reader tier, get a book anytime I write one, signed and on their doorstep. As you may have noticed, there's a list of patrons and members on the screen, and I'd like to personally thank every one of them for taking a hand in the future of this channel. Well, that's enough for tonight. Dr. Plague, signing off. Have a wonderful evening.